Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a bankruptcy attorney with the Financial Law Group located here in Warren, Michigan, and we serve the residents of St. Clair County. I'm here to talk to you today about business bankruptcy. There are a couple of forms of bankruptcy that are particularly valuable for business people. One is Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, a lot of people, when they think of Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the thing that they think of would be General Motors, for example, or United Airlines, or Delphi, or any of these other large corporations that have filed bankruptcy. When they file bankruptcy and reorganize their debts, they're doing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I've been able to do Chapter 11 bankruptcy, though, for a lot of small businesses, and individuals, by the way. And these people and companies have found that we have still been able to have a significant impact on their operations over the long term as a result of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing, even though that they're much, much smaller businesses than General Motors or Delphi or United Airlines or any of these other well-known companies that have filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy as well. It's the same chapter under the bankruptcy code, but it gives you certain powers that you're able to use to help your business or your personal finances continue to the long term. Some of the things that we're able to do through Chapter 11 bankruptcy might include things such as reorganizing a tax debt, making it so that your payments are something that you can afford, or even getting rid of a portion of your tax debt. I've had clients who've actually had their accounts garnished and funds seized or levied on by the IRS, the state, and then we file a Chapter 11 bankruptcy case, and we're able to get back those funds that have been garnished. I've also had clients where they owe a substantial amount of money to a company. They've made payments to that company, and they file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And we've been able to go back and get back some of the payments that have been made to that company pre-petition. So something that's able to help you move forward with your business over the long term. We've been able to, through Chapter 11 bankruptcy, redo mortgages on the business buildings, sometimes to substantial savings for my clients. We've been able to deal with property tax debts and reorganizing them so that they get paid back over time, where you don't have to worry about a foreclosure hurting your business over the long term. We've been able to do things like get rid of leases or change leases, where you may have a company and you may have either a business property or certain equipment that you use, and for one reason or another the leases aren't working out for you. We've been able to get rid of the leases, we've been able to restructure the leases. Those are the types of things that can also be done through Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Finally, and of course certainly not least, we can take whatever bulk of debts you have sitting out there, and we've been able to make it so that you can make payments on those debts, oftentimes pennies on the dollar, some small percentage of what's owed on the debt, over a period of time, and that's been enabled many businesses to get back on their feet in the long term. That has been one thing that's been very valuable to a number of businesses, and people think that Chapter 11 isn't available to small business, but in fact the rules and the code specifically allow for filings of Chapter 11s for small businesses, where they actually expedite the process to make it easier for a small business to file bankruptcy and get through this process. So that's definitely something that a lot of small businesses should think about. The other form of bankruptcy that some small businesses file is Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Chapter 7 bankruptcy is essentially the process of shutting down the business. You don't want to do the business anymore, the business is not working out financially for you. Rather than you dealing with the process of sorting all the issues out with all the creditors, sorting all the issues out with tax liability that may exist with respect to the business, or any of the other assets that there are that need to be liquidated to pay creditors, you can hand that responsibility over to a trustee who's appointed by the bankruptcy court. That's what Chapter 7 bankruptcy is all about. I can give one example of a client who was a construction contractor. Had a very successful business. With the decline in the economy, his business really became something unsustainable over the long term. He had substantial assets. He also has substantial amounts of debt. It would have taken him years to wind down the business. By filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy, he essentially handed that responsibility over to the trustee and was able to get on with his life and start rebuilding his life. It has taken the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, in that case in particular, years to wind down the business, and frequently does. But the point is, you don't need to worry about it then, and it gives you some relief so you can get on with your life and not have to worry about dealing with something that really is a chapter that you'd rather close and get on with your life. So those are two chapters that really can be very valuable to many small business owners. If you're a small business owner and you want to find out about some of your options in bankruptcy, please feel free to give me a call. I offer free consultations. My phone number is 586-693-2000.